a member of former President Donald Trump's legal team, is claiming that January 6th was not an insurrection because it didn't last long enough. Something that perhaps he might have some personal experience with.
What if we narrowed it to say prevent the peaceful transfer of power of the United States government? Would that be an insurrection?
To prevent the peaceful transfer? I don't think so, and I'm not sure, Your Honor. Look, I mean, if you look at historically in the context of how insurrection was used, I mean, it has to be for a substantial duration, not 3 hours.
Good news, fellas. If your insurrection doesn't last for at least 3 hours, then you got nothing to worry about.
Insurrection is about the people.
Okay, I know. Ridiculous argument, but also something I can make fun of.
Tallywhacker.
Okay?
Tighten up my meat. I like my meat tight.
Okay, anyway. That was Trump attorney Scott Gessler presenting some arguments to the Colorado Supreme Court, who is currently considering the appeal of the 14th Amendment challenge, seeking to block Trump from the 2024 ballot. So they have a little, insurrectionist ban. So, if you're an insurrectionist, if you actually did an insurrection against the United States, then you will not appear on the Colorado ballot. And so this guy is saying, well, but the thing that happened, I mean, not good, but is it really an insurrection? I mean, most insurrections that I know of, they last more than 4 hours. So, and that's when it's a real problem. Oh, okay. Now, the justices decided to press him on why he believes so, and the answer, believe it or not, gets even more ridiculous.
I guess I'm not sure where you said it has to be, where the temporal provision, where is all that coming from? I mean, Webster's Third New International Dictionary defines it as an act or instance of revolting against civil authority or against an established government. So you've added a whole lot of conditions there. I'm not sure where they came from.
I would urge you, I think probably the best exposition of that was the State Attorney General's briefs and the authority that they provided. Okay, but I think also if you look at sort of the historical record. Now you're going to tell me, Mr. Gessler, you're making it up. And I'm going to say, well, so did the judge. And I'll say, we're all sort of making it up at the end of the day.
Well, we're all just sort of making this up, I mean, rules, statutes, laws, society, it's all made up, bro. It doesn't mean anything. Okay, look, I didn't expect them to get metaphilosophical, about the role of society. Yes, did human beings make up laws? Yeah, we did. Yeah, okay, sure. Yes, we did make up everything. There's a reason, though, that we have laws. It's to make society function. That's generally the rule here. And look, if you have an insurrection, that's kind of indicative of some sort of breakdown in society. That's not good, and you should have laws against them. And thankfully, we do. We do have laws against them. But of course, the issue that they're having is, how do you define an insurrection? How do you define it? And so, again, that's the issue that they're running into. But trying to say that, hey, look, nothing is real. We just all made up these rules, and we're making it up as we go along. It's a hell of an argument to use to try to keep your client on the ballot. Look, I know it's not the exact argument that he's using, but it's pretty close. I mean, we have lawyers now that are citing non-existent time requirements for what constitutes and qualifies as an insurrection. Like, it has to be this long. It's got to be this long to be an insurrection. What? Now, Gessler also argued that because the Capitol rioters were not armed at the level necessary to overcome the police, which we live in a militarized police state. So, I mean, it might be a little difficult to out-arm the police. Not impossible, because we do live in America where, we have all sorts of weaponry at our disposal at the local Walmart. Still, his argument is, since they were not armed like an army, well, it's not an insurrection. Well, now, wait a minute, though. Again, the goal of the insurrection is to, kind of overthrow, to cause, a lot of issues with the governance of this area. I mean, read off that the Webster's description of it. So, and look, the justices also noted that there was a lot of makeshift weapons that did a lot of damage, where 100 police officers were harmed. So, I mean, I think by a lot of these definitions and metrics, yeah, this could qualify as an insurrection. Now, one justice did admit that, okay, look, insurrection, up for debate, debatable, and, how we define it does play an important role in the ruling, again, as the 14th Amendment technically doesn't define it. To which Gessler said, I don't know a definition of it, but I know it when I see it. And that tends to be the quip that people try to, describe pornography. I feel like I can't really describe what's pornographic or obscene, but I know it when I see it. Funny thing about that is, the right wing, the right wing claims to see pornography everywhere in school books. Okay? Anything that mentions LGBTQ people, I'm seeing pornographic, rah! But they fail to see an insurrection. Kind of funny that is. Okay? Even though you had several Capitol rioters that were charged and convicted of things like, I don't know, seditious conspiracy? Yeah. For their role in January 6th. Stuart Rhodes of the Oath Keepers, one of them. They don't see it, though, because at the end of the day, they don't really want to see it. And so now you've got this guy taking what, again, okay, insurrection, we generally know what it is, but since it's not clearly, concisely defined as with this very, very particular metrics, this team's trying to take it apart and to say, well, what happened on January 6th doesn't really count. And so, therefore, even though we can't really make a good argument here as to why it shouldn't count, we're going to go with it anyway. So, yes, they're using every kind of BS argument they can, even ones that sound like pretty similar to the effects of Viagra.